Hey, good afternoon, Jim. Hello, Schoon. And there are probably others of you on here who I might recognize your face if you were on camera. My colleagues and I are delighted to join you today. I will let Zev and Felipe and Max say hello, introduce themselves, and then I will start with a brief slide presentation. And Zev and I will talk a little bit, and then Max and Felipe will lead you through 20-minute segment of Mandela Yoga. So Max, Felipe, say hello.
Hello, everyone on Zoom. My name is Max. I'm a local yoga teacher in Boston. I'm affiliated with Mandela for about a year now. Very happy to be here with you all.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Felipe Rosario, yoga instructor. Work with the community, with men in the community. And I'm really happy to be here and show a little part of the sequence in Spanish. Thank you.
Zev, say hello.
Hey, everybody. I'm Zev Schuman-Olivier. I'm an addiction psychiatrist and director for the Center for Mindfulness and Compassion at Cambridge Health Alliance. I'm an assistant professor in psychiatry at Harvard Medical School, and I'm glad to be here. It's nice, Max, Felipe, nice to see you again, and nice to get to meet everyone.
And Zev, apologies. I pinned the screen so everyone could see our presenters, so we didn't see you. So sorry about that.
That's okay. That's okay. Happy to be in the background.
Jeffrey, you're muted, so we can't hear you.
Thank you. I would like to have the screen pinned to my screen so that we can do the presentation. And then we'll switch back to Max and Felipe when they begin the practice in just a few minutes.
Okay, and apologies, I'm having a hard time unpinning the screen. Can folks see Jeffrey's? Okay, thank you, Scoot.
All right, as I said, I'm delighted that we're able to be with you together today. We're coming to you from JP Center Yoga, which is one of the rare yoga studios that is welcoming both to people of color and teachers of color. And there would normally be in a longer presentation, I would share with you and discuss the map of chronic health conditions and the locations of yoga studios, and you'd be able to see how rare it is to have overlap there. But for those of you who might be familiar with Boston, we are about a 20-minute walk at this moment from Bromley Heath, public housing development, and about a 20-minute walk from Dimmick Community Health Center. So that's a little bit of where we're coming to you from. We exist to resource low-income people of color with chronic health conditions to be greater agents in their own self-healing and leaders in the community. A lot of these slides, which will be shared with you after, you're familiar with, so I won't speak to each of them, but I will slide through just to give you a sense of the whole presentation. A little bit about my background. I was born in June of 1963. My father was at the rally with Medgar Evers a few hours before Medgar was gunned down in Mississippi. And that year, 60 Black churches were bombed. Luckily, the church in the little town of Wiggins, Mississippi, where my parents were engaged in voting rights, was not one of the churches that was bombed that year. But it's to say that the fight for equity and for full participation as a human is literally in my DNA. Here's a picture of me and my sister Sonia in the front yard of my grandmother's house in Charleston, South Carolina. She and I are both diabetics. About a dozen years ago, I got into a group medical visit program where I was required to do a regular exercise. The exercise I chose was yoga. And for the first time after a 15-year struggle, I was able to get my yoga or get my A1C and blood pressure under control. At the same time, my sister Sonia was dying of complications of diabetes. And I asked myself what I could do to make available to curvy Black women like her the kind of yoga that helped me. And that's how we ended up coming up with Mandela Yoga Project. In 2021, we learned that there was an alarming increase in Black fatal overdoses. And later that year, we were invited. Here's the slide about the availability of yoga studios. But later that year, we were invited by Dr. Guy Fish at, so I'm going to go through to his slide. By Dr. Guy Fish at Greater Lawrence Family Health Center to create a yoga program. They saw the videos that we created for people at San Quentin, and he said, hey, can you create a program for us? We just got a grant from Sass to support Black and brown men at risk of fatal overdose upon release from incarceration. And I said, sure, yeah, why not? So I hung up the phone and I thought, oh my God, what have I committed to? How am I going to find a yoga? It's a peer yoga program. How am I going to find a male yoga teacher, a male yoga teacher of color who speaks Spanish, who's formerly incarcerated, and who's been successfully in recovery? Because it's peer yoga, we have to deliver. And to my great fortune, I was able to find both Felipe and then Max. And here's a few seconds from Dr. Fish.
I'm delighted. It's taken us about a year, Jeffrey, to get to a point where we finally have the funding together and the space together and COVID under some kind of control. But I am so delighted that the Mandela Yoga Project, as you've envisioned it, can come into the spaces that we've reserved and provided at the Greater Lawrence Family Health Center.
So many of you might be interested in what some of the challenges have been of bringing Mandela Yoga into a clinic, and I would be keenly interested, if you're interested, in hearing from you and telling you about our experience bringing Mandela Yoga into a health center and the ways that we've been able to support patients.
And Jeffrey, a quick thing I just dropped into the chat. Since we met with you last on Monday, we met with BSAS, and I'll quickly say they offered that folks could use their SOR dollars to partner with Mandela Yoga Project. So just wanted to share that. Some of you have funding that BSAS said you could use through their contracts to partner with Jeffrey and his team.
Well, that's amazing news. I don't even know what SOR funds are, but I'm sure somebody will tell me about it. Here's a little bit about Felipe, who will begin soon. And if you hear a little voice, it's because Felipe's 5-year-old daughter is with us in the studio. She's a little shy, so she probably won't come on camera. Here's a little bit about Max. And see, I'll go to Here's a little bit about the intervention itself. It's trauma informed. It's been created to be accessible to all bodies and all levels of mobility. It's made culturally resonant because the standardized 45-minute practice is opened and closed with a culturally resonant practice. It's based on postures proven in wide clinical settings to be effective at addressing chronic health conditions. And the most critical aspect of Mandela Yoga to me is that it's peer-to-peer. Because I learned from one of you scientists, doctors, this thing called racial concordance, and how healing is enhanced when the provider and the patient share cultural understanding and resonance. A little bit about what happens in a Mandela Yoga class. As I said, it's 45 minutes, and the idea is that patients will practice Mandela Yoga in one of our 12-week series. At the end of the series, we will offer to participants the opportunity to become trained, and then we'll pay them $25 an hour for a 30-hour training, during which they will train to become leaders of their own session. And that's our way to grow, and how we resource patients to not only lead their session, but then once they're leading their own 12-week session, we pay them $125 per session to lead Mandela Yoga for 12 weeks. So that's the basic idea. We wondered if anyone would show up. When we started at the clinic in Lawrence, we were in 2 settings. In addition to being part of the reentry services unit, we also were part of a group medical visit with Dr. Suhani Bora, who was not able to be with us today. But at the end of that session, well, actually in the middle of one of the sessions, one of the patients said, "Stop, wait a minute. I feel so good. I just had to stop and tell you, I didn't know I felt bad, but I feel so good." And that was one of our early indications that maybe we were onto something. And then when March came, 9 months later, I spoke with the program leader at Reentry Services to ask how many people were interested and whether or not they had met our criteria of having participated in 75% of the sessions. And to my delight and surprise, I was told that there were 4 people who had started in August or September in the reentry services yoga from Mandela Yoga, all 4 of whom had 100% participation over the 7 or 8 months. I was really thrilled and really amazed, because we were hoping for treatment adherence of 75%, and we were going to be thrilled with that. So we offered opportunities for training, and we did that in March and in July. In July, we offered the training in Spanish with simultaneous interpretation. So we have now 6 patients from the clinic in Lawrence who've trained. One of them is an apprentice in our new implementation in East Boston. And we are excited to find a placement opportunity for that trainee to begin to lead their own session after the first of the year. So I'll pause there, and afterwards we'll come back, and Zev will talk a little bit, and I'll talk a little bit more. But in the meantime, I welcome you to enjoy 20 minutes of Sonia sequence with Max and Felipe.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is Max here. You guys see me all right? Is that all right there, Jeffrey? Yes. Good to see you. Welcome. So you can be seated or standing for this. Go through a simple practice. This is the beginning of Sonia's sequence. So as you find yourself sitting, standing, Just start to notice. Start to observe any sensations through your body, your mind. Start to ground into the moment here. As we move, you're welcome to visualize these movements. You're welcome to take the movements physically if you feel called to. Start with the breath. So you can place one hand near your low abdomen. Try to breathe towards that area. Allow it to fill up to your heart. So you're breathing fully through the whole of your body. Take a couple more rounds just like this. Breathing all the way in. Breathing all the way out. Breathing all the way in again. And out. In and out. This breath to continue, just take a moment. Either stand, sit, notice your bones, your muscles, your skin. Your current position. Just turn over one thigh or one shoulder, just look to the side. Turn to any degree, take a deep breath in and out. In and out. In and out. Turn back to center. Turn to the other side. Over the thigh or shoulder. Deep breath in and out. In and out. In and out. Beautiful. Back around to center. From here, try to bring each hand to the opposite shoulder. Give yourself a little hug. From here, just allow the hands to rest for a moment. And very gently, whatever pace feels good for you, just start to tap the shoulders. Tap further down the arm. Keep breathing, tap back up the arm. Keep breathing, keep tapping here. Another breath in and out. The arms start to extend from here. Right, nice and long out in front of you. They could be lower than out. As you breathe in, take one hand up the other arm. As you breathe out, slide it back down. Inhale the opposite arm up to the shoulder. Exhale, back down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Last time. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Release the arms. Just notice for a moment. Anything that comes up for you, just observe. Allow the thoughts to come. Don't follow the thoughts. For a little stillness. From your seat or your stand, open shoulders, breath in, take them up to the ears. As you exhale, just roll them back behind. Inhale again up to the ear. Exhale, roll back. Inhale again up. Exhale back. To the other direction. Just breathe in, raise the shoulders, and then take them forward as much as you can. Then inhale up and exhale forward. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Allow your body to land wherever it may, find some comfort for a moment. Just continuing to notice here the breath traveling past your nostrils through your body. Share with you a resilience practice that I use in turn with our breathing. So we're just going to add on to that. It's just called the alternate nostril breath. This is help me when I wake up on the wrong side of the bed. I feel like one part of myself is overpowering the other. There's a way to balance both sides of the system. And I will guide you through. Just going to cover one nostril at a time. You can use the index and the thumb. Take a deep breath in through both nostrils, out through both. Go in through the left nostril, breathing for 3, 2, for 1. Out through the right nostril for 3, for 2, for 1. Back in through the right. 3, 2, 1. Out the left. 3, 2, 1. Back in the left. Deep breath. And out the right. And exhale. One more time through. In the right. And out the left. Breathe through both nostrils, fill all the way to the top. Hold your breath in. Take another sip through the mouth. And then let it go. Thank you for your time. There's a little bit of Sony sequence. I'm Max. Felipe will be guiding you next.
Hi everyone, Felipe, Kalatauma, Rosario. So I'm going to be doing in Spanish. So just to give you a little idea, when I say adentro, it's like in. When I say afuera, it's out. So we're going to inhale, taking a step back. Inhaling, bring it up. Adentro, subiendo las manos hacia arriba, doblando la pierna de la frente, bajando los codos hacia el lado. Y adentro, y afuera, adentro, y afuera, y adentro, y afuera. Posición neutral. En la próxima tenemos la opción de subir nuestro talón o levantar nuestra pierna. Inhalamos adentro y afuera, adentro y afuera, adentro y afuera. Posición neutral, traemos la pierna hacia atrás, doblamos la pierna del frente, trayendo los brazos hacia atrás como si fuéramos a correr o a brincar. Inhalamos y afuera, adentro y afuera. Opción de quedarse en cualquier de estas dos posiciones o subir la pierna de atrás para volar. Y adentro y afuera, adentro y afuera. Lentamente vuelvo a su posición neutral. Y nos mantenemos en montaña. Y esperamos, chequeamos a ver qué sensaciones están subiendo del cuerpo, o si nada, opción de quedarse quieto o mover su cuerpo. Y ahora vamos a hacer del otro lado. Nosotros traemos una pierna hacia atrás. Inhalamos, subiendo los brazos hacia arriba. Exhaltamos, doblando la pierna de la frente, los codos hacia el lado. Y adentro y afuera. adentro y afuera, adentro y afuera. Volvemos a nuestra posición neutral. Opción de levantar su talón o su pierna. Y adentro y afuera, adentro y afuera, y la última adentro y afuera. Bajamos nuestra pierna, traemos la pierna hacia atrás, doblamos la pierna del frente, traemos los brazos hacia atrás, como si fuéramos a brincar a correr, inhalamos adentro y afuera, adentro y afuera, y la última adentro y afuera. Volvemos a nuestra posición neutral y nos paramos en montaña. Opción de quedarse quieto, de mover su cuerpo. En la próxima tenemos la opción de visualizar que cuando inhalemos recorremos de la tierra lo que necesitamos. Cuando exhalemos, damos para adentro, recorremos de la tierra. Afuera, damos para atrás. Adentro y afuera. Adentro y afuera. Adentro y afuera. Posición neutral. Traemos una pierna hacia el lado. Doblamos la pierna al frente, extendiendo los brazos hacia el lado. Y adentro y afuera. Adentro y afuera. Adentro traemos la mano al frente hacia arriba. Y la otra sobre nuestra cabeza. Y adentro y afuera. Adentro y afuera. Y la última adentro y afuera. Volvemos a nuestra posición neutral. Cambiamos para el lado, traemos otra pierna hacia el lado. Doblando la rodilla, extendiendo nuestros brazos. Y adentro y afuera. Adentro y afuera. Adentro traemos la mano al frente hacia arriba. Afuera en la rodilla, traemos la otra sobre la cabeza. Y adentro y afuera. Adentro y afuera. Y la última adentro y afuera. Lentamente, pues volvemos a nuestra posición neutral. Y abrimos nuestras piernas y extendemos nuestros brazos con una X. Inhalamos abriendo nuestro pecho. Y afuera nos relajamos. Y adentro y afuera. Adentro y afuera. Y adentro y afuera. Y nos paramos en montaña. Tomamos un momento para ver si cualquier sensación está surgiendo o si nada. Opción de quedarse quieto o mover su cuerpo. Y ahora voy a compartir mi resiliencia, que voy a usar mi flauta. Permiso. So be part of the Iguayala of the Caribbean of Taínos. My indigenous name is Kalatauma, and I'm blessed to be part of that and helping with some healing and so in any way it could work. And I just want to share this. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Max, and thank you, Felipe. And you can see, if you were watching the screen, you could see that you're getting lots of feedback. I'd like to go now to Zev, who will spend a few minutes telling you a little bit about the research that they do at the Center for Mindfulness Compassion on contemplative practices and substance use disorder. Go ahead, Zev.
We've been studying the effects of mindfulness and mindful movement, like yoga, on people's capacity to make behavior change and its ability to help people support them during recovery from substance use disorder and opiate use disorder in particular. I'm just going to share 3 slides with you today that represent 5 different clinical trials that we've done here at CHA over the past decade at the Center for Mindfulness and Compassion. So this first set of studies was funded by the NIH Science of Behavior Change Initiative. And we conducted 3 studies with patients with chronic illness who also generally had anxiety, depression, or an adjustment disorder due to stress related to the chronic illness. And we wanted to see whether or not 8 weeks of a mindfulness program that integrates mindfulness as well as mindful movement would help people increase their ability to create behavior change around chronic illness self-management. So a wide array of different chronic illnesses that were there, and we were looking at within 3 weeks of people setting a goal, how many people would initiate an action plan towards that goal. And what we found repeatedly that between 2.8 and 4, people at 2.8 to 4 times the odds of being able to successfully initiate an action plan within 2 or 3 weeks if they went through an 8-week mindfulness program in primary care. These are group visits or group psychotherapy, billed in both ways, depending on the clinician that was leading, compared to a low-dose comparator with mindfulness. And what this suggested was that mindful behavior change focused interventions really can have an impact on helping people to be able to make behavior change. Could you go to the next slide, Jeffrey? Thanks. So we took the curriculum that we had there from an 8-week program, and we spread it out over an extended 24 weeks to be able to address patients with opiate use disorder prescribed buprenorphine in primary care settings. This is in 2 primary care settings, both in Somerville and in Revere, Massachusetts, in community health centers. And we enrolled patients and looked at changes over time from this program, and found that, first of all, it was feasible, it was acceptable. And we found that people improved interoceptive awareness, or their ability to feel sensations in their body and to be able to listen to those sensations to inform them about how to make decisions. They had more trust in their body sensations. They had more mindfulness. They were able to regulate emotions. We saw improvements in self-compassion, being kinder to themselves, and they were less likely to act in ways due to experiential avoidance, which is that kind of running from discomfort. People are more likely to be with discomfort instead of running from discomfort, which is really important in recovery. We also found reductions in anxiety, and people with chronic pain had less interference in their life due to pain after the mindfulness program. We also saw reductions in the cocaine and benzo use in this setting over the 24 weeks. Last slide, Jeffrey. So all this work culminated actually in a grant to the NIH HEAL initiative and through National Center for Complementary Integrative Health to be able to run a national study. We enrolled from people in 16 states, people who were prescribed buprenorphine treatment for opiate use disorder. And we looked at whether or not mindfulness was as good as or better than the standard gold standard group-based opiate treatment that we've been using here at Cambridge Health Alliance, which integrates motivational interviewing, CBT, community reinforcement approach, 12-step facilitation, and does it within a really warm group setting. And what we found was that mindfulness was without any other of the evidence-based programs was just as good as all of the as the standard group-based opiate treatment. We saw reductions in both groups in anxiety and pain interference, low levels of substance use, and strong engagement. Now, one area which we saw where there was less strong engagement was that mindfulness, in the way that we were delivering it, tended to, which is based on these 8-week programs, tended to see better engagement among white women over the age of 40. And so I think this just speaks to my excitement and the importance of what Jeffrey's doing and what Mandela Yoga is doing, is that we know these mechanisms work, but they don't work if you don't feel engaged, you don't feel safe, you don't feel like this is a place where you belong. And I think the attention to that that Mandela Yoga is paying is critical. And so I'm really excited about the opportunities that this could have, and looking forward to studying the ways that it might help folks who are in recovery from opioids across the spectrum, as well as helping with chronic illness in group visits. So I'm glad to be partnering with Jeffrey. And Jeffrey, you didn't announce this yet, but I'm going to announce it for you. Jeffrey just received the Robert Wood Johnson Fellowship yesterday. It will be announced formally at the end of the week. And we're thrilled to be a collaborator with you to help you to be able to try to align research as you are developing this program and align it with payer systems and FQHD. So just congratulations, Jeffrey, on that. I don't know if you want to say more about that.
I won't say more, except that it wouldn't have been possible had I not become a fellow at the Center for Mindfulness Compassion in 2020, where I began working with Zev and other faculty on developing a research program. It's a $287,000 grant, which is really substantial. We're excited to partner with clinics and with a payer system to collect data on Mandela Yoga. So I'll pause there for questions, and I think we might have 1/2 a minute left for questions.